Britons are furious after French President Emmanuel Macron threatened the UK with an energy blockade. Today Mr. Macron threatened to launch a devastating energy embargo against Britain if Boris Johnson refuses to give in on fisheries after the Prime Minister claimed Brexit trade talks are over. On Thursday, Mr. Macron insisted French fishermen would not be sacrificed, for the sake of a deal. But if the UK leaves the EU without a deal in place, then French fishermen could face being banned from British waters. Mr. Macron hinted the EU would launch a devastating energy embargo against the UK unless Mr. Johnson gives in on fisheries. During negotiations, fishing rights have been one of the main issues in discussions. Under the controversial Commons Fisheries Policy (CFP), all member states are given access to EU waters via quotas. As the UK has a large coastal area, critics have often argued the system is unfair. But now Britons have lashed out at Mr. Macron's threats, claiming the French president is very bitter and desperate. One reader said on Express's Facebook page, "Fish is an issue of sovereignty, energy is related to trade. If Mr. Macron wants a trade war, then that's different. As far as I recall, the EU exports considerably more to the UK than the UK exports to the EU, so they lose out again." A second reader said, "Showing their true colors now, so-called allies when they need our help, then shoot you in the back when it's turned and we need a bit of helping hand. What goes around comes around." Someone else simply claimed it was an idle threat. A fourth person wrote, "Wow, they are getting desperate now. What happened to good friendly trade talks? Walk away and give them nothing." Another reader echoed, "This mad dog is sounding desperate, especially in his desire to be a latter-day Napoleon. We can certainly help Macron achieve a degree of empathy with his alter ego, particularly where the major defeat we inflicted on the French are concerned. Macron might have to learn the hard way. The British do not give in to threats." A sixth person said, "Just goes to show who your friends are. The French fishermen want all the access to British waters, not some. Our fishermen were slaughtered when we joined, they didn't care about us." When announcing his threat, Mr. Macron suggested the right to fish in British waters was worth €650 million to EU fishermen, but that access to European energy markets was worth up to £2.3 billion, €2.5 billion, to the UK. RTE Europe editor Tony Connolly noted, "They have tried to up the ante on fishing.